Actually, Middle English is called a period of great change. What changes really took place at that time? I do have a lot of information in my brain right now. I'll try my best to deliver, and I'll also seek information from you so that we can make the class more interactive and interesting. Okay. Somebody is trying to join the class. Let me approve. Urbianica. Okay. Mm. So we can see that the remarkable issues that took place is the causes of changes. Okay, remarkable changes like the Norman conquest, conditions that followed the conquest. Before that really came to England, I hope that I told you the story how the Anglo Saxons and Jutes came to England from Germany, the land, how Anglisco became English, how England became England later on. And these people were governing in the land of England. They were the kings and queens and everything. They were the head of the military and everything. But Norman people, they are Normans are from a place called Normandy. Okay, that is somewhere close to France. From Normandy, these people came to France. Okay, they came to France, and then this group of people lived in France for nearly 200 years. So that means the minimum 6 to 7 generations have already passed. They have passed in France. So these Norman people, when they came from Normandy from Normandy to France, they also got married to some of the Frenchmen. So there was a hybridization in the increase in population, right? In the increase in population. At the same time, there were some other issues. They also allowed their women to be married to the Frenchmen. They got married to French women. So there is a mixture, and they learned some. They came there with their new language, Norman language, but they have learned French after coming here. And so even if they learn a new language, still Norman language is influential over there. And the Frenchmen, those who got married to the Norman families, the French women who got married to the Norman families or Normans with the Normans, they also learned some of the new languages. The 200 years after 200 years after they are living what should I say in France, then they felt the need for war, more war. War means the more war, the more conquer. Okay, then they attacked England, the land England, which is governed by the Angles and Saxons. So what really happened is like the Norman people when they took more energy, more soldiers from France, and then they attacked actually England. And after that conquest, the Normans won the battle, and the British people. I mean, sorry, the people living in England, the Angles and Saxons, they lost the power. Okay, and so everything has completely changed in the Middle English period because already Normans entered into the country. They captured everything. They have won the battle against the Angles and Saxons. Then okay. Then you can see these changes affected English in both grammar and is vocabulary. Okay, loss of a large part of Old English words. When the French people, let me tell you, it's like a story. Try to remember when the and Norman people entered into the country. So the language is French here, right? Also a mixture. So they told us from now on, today the language of court and everything will be what?
Friends.
French, not English anymore. And English will not be a language of court and the king's family. And all the better positions will be owned by the French people and the Norman conquerors. At the same time, English people will be serving them as slaves. Even the king became a slave at that time. Okay, it's painful, right? Once you own power and suddenly you lost power means you become a slave. It is really painful.
Yes.
Obviously, sir.
Yes, and then the loss of a large part of Old English words, and because of that, actually, when they started governing England, from 1100 to 1500. Nearly how many years? Nearly 400 to 500 years, right? So
400 years
in
of
a,
legacy gone in a minute. That is must be very much painful.
yep, exactly. So suddenly think of a prime minister we will not name that. Let's say she's in a prison now. Okay, for example. Okay, once she was the prime minister, and for her it's a painful story, right? From her
Yes,
side,
sir.
once she was everything, she was the center of everything. Now she's in prison, so it's
Mhm,
painful.
yes,
But
sir.
this is the history, and this is the history nobody can ignore. Things happen for good, things happen for our karma. Our karma comes back to us always. It's for you, it's for me, the same story, the same thing. Okay, then
Sir,
we can, yes.
there is a word Latin influence in previous conquest also. If you see the
Yeah,
uh,
Latin is always powerful, the
Latin is
religious
always there,
influence.
sir. Latin is always
Exactly,
there.
because
It came
because because
with.
because Latin became a language of Bible. That is the main reason.
Oh, that is why it existed in every.
Exact, exactly. Think of Quran. Arabic language is everywhere because Arabic is because the Arabic is the language of the Holy Quran. That's why it is everywhere.
Yes, sir. I noticed it there. In every time, in every invasion, the
Yeah.
following
What's your name?
some.
What's your name?
So Sakib, sir, Sakib.
Okay, Sakib. Yeah, exactly. True.
Let the language sanction, their the language change, the English change, but Latin, it still remain still. It didn't change. Yes, it influenced the other language, but it remains still in every
Exactly.
conquest.
Exactly. Okay. So loss of a large part of Old English words just because French language entered here. So it is normal that the English language will be cornered. It is cornered. It is not given any
Yes,
floor anywhere. It's not a language of prestige anymore. So you see, for that was for the last time English became a language of backstage. Understand? That was the last time English went backstage because of French and Latin. And after that, it started raining from 15th century, and it has never stopped anymore. And I
yes,
hope
sir.
we do not know the future. It seems to us that no other language will dominate English, but we do not know actually what is going to
No,
happen
sir.
in the course of next 200
World is
years.
changing, sir. World is changing.
It's, it's
Who will become dominant? No one will know.
yeah, it's all about money and politics and power.
Yes, sir.
It's about money and politics and power and nothing else actually. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so let us have a
Invasion
look.
is also there, sir, but in
Yeah,
a modern way. People are invading in modern way. That's all.
exactly. Invasion is everywhere. And thousands of words from French and Latin entered into English. Meaning to say, loss of large number of Old English words are banished. I mean, they are removed, and their place was taken by French and Latin. Okay, the next. 1 second. Okay. Next is decay of inflectional endings. The changes in English grammar describe of endings of the noun, adjective, marking distinctions of number, case, and gender were all taught in pronunciation as loss their distinctive form. The loss of inflection also appeared in verbs. So you see, the changes in English grammar took place at the time. Okay, there is the reduction of inflectional endings of the noun. Okay, nouns are a little longer at the time, but they became shorter period. Okay, adjective marking distinctions or case and gender were altered in pronunciation as lost their distinctive form. Okay, so there are changes of in the adjective marking distinctions of number, case, and gender. Then you can see the reasons of loss of inflectional endings. Why inflectional endings are lost? The phonetic changes, the operation of analogy. The phonetic changes and the
Analogy.
analogy. So we can see that operation of analogy. So for these two reasons, that there are inflectional changes in the Middle English period in English language, especially in grammar. The earliest was the change of final m to n, either for plural nouns or adjectives. Okay, the earliest, meaning to say the latest or the earliest, the oldest or the earliest one. That there was a change of final m to n. The it was m. It was m earlier in some words ending, but it was changed to n later on. Regarding adjectives, let's say mouths. It was mouthdom. See, for example, mouthdom, which was indicated to say mouth, right? Then moudon. Okay, then
Yes.
it became modern.
More than.
Then it was godam, then it became godan. So the ending was m, but later on it was changed into,
Godam.
then it was changed into n. So n of inflectional ending was later dropped. Okay, later dropped. Later on the inflectional ending was completely dropped. No m, even no n. M was changed to n, but
Oh,
later on n was also omitted. Like it was godo, then mudo. You see the IPS. This one is IPS symbol. MU. Then there is something like nine,
yes, sir.
reverse 9, right? It is the
Yes, sir.
sound in IPS symbol. The. The vowels A, O, U, E in inflectional endings were transferred to a sound called indeterminate vowel, which came to be written as E and rarely I, Y, U. As a result, a number of originally distinct endings A, U, E, and UM reduced to a uniform E. So there are so many which used to ended earlier with an A, U, E, A, and UM, right? And that has been
Yes.
reduced to a uniform E. Understand? So the words that used to ended with using A, U, E, N, all these words were uniformed because they all these words, all these inflections A, U, E, N, are changed using E. So these are some of the changes that took place during the Middle English period. Okay, I divide the class into three parts today. Again, let me save the first part so that for you to watch. Uh, stop recording.
স্যার ফার্স্ট পার্টে তো তাহলে অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স দিলাম না।
It's okay, no problem. I'll I'll give attendance to everyone today. So the noun. Now let us see what other changes really took place during the modern English period. Okay, from 11th century to 15th century is the modern English period. Let us see the in the second phase of class today. We can see that I'm telling this so that even if you watch the class later, you can identify that this is the second phase, right? The first phase is already
Yes.
said. Okay, we have talked about the inflectional changes in the first page. Okay, the noun, the most distinctive termination is the possessive singular and of the nominative and accusative plural. Since these two cases of the plural were those most frequently used, the s came to be thought of as the sign of the plural. The most distinctive termination is the possessive singular and of the nominative and accusative plural. Okay, so in the second para, you can see that in early Middle English, only two methods of indicating. You can see that in early Middle English, only two methods of indicating, indicating the plural remained the s or es from the strong declination and en oxen from the weak declination. Okay, s has become the universal sign of the plural. S is considered as an example of survival of fittest in language. Okay, so S has become the universal sign of the plural. It was not S before. Okay. The same. Usually, still there are some exceptions,
Yes, sir.
right? Luckily, it is only AS. That's why we can learn English
Yes,
so
sir.
easily. Otherwise,
Otherwise,
learning this
it
language
would be very hard.
would have been so tough.
Yes.
Exactly. It must have been very tough. Okay, so adjectives. The form of the nominative singular was extended to all cases of the singular. The form of the nominative singular was extended to all cases of the singular. In week of declensions, no longer any distinctions between singular and plural. For example, blinda, blind and blinden, blende. So the in weak declensions, you see no longer any distinction between singular and plural. All is transformed into blende. Then let's see something else. Distinctions only remained in certain monosyllabic adjectives until around 1300. Meaning to say, let me tell you, there are hundreds of issues that are going on side by side. Okay, and things were happening very fast at the time. Even also you cannot say it fast because it is 500 years. It's a long time, right?
Yes, sir.
Because Goru can become Goru,
Goru.
Goru can
Goru.
become Goru.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, my mistake. Within 4 months it can be changed, and within 500 years the language can also change, right? In the 14th century final, it was maintained in writing. Meaning to say, 14th century, before 14th century, uh, final E was pronounced. Let's say the word is adjective. So the pronunciation was adjective.
Way.
Okay, this is the one because it is pronounced like this. But in the 14th century, it's to be pronounced right. Now you pronounce the so nothing. Let's say in next 100 comes like me, and he can see that this E is not necessary. Why should you spoil ink paper and spoil your time, waste your time? Okay, omit this E. From now on, MIDDL means middle because it is not middle E. It is MIDDL middle. Done. Communication is done. So it may happen in next
Yes,
100
sir.
years maybe. What changes come, we do not know, but change is inevitable. Remember. It must take it or you dislike it.
Yes, sir.
Thus, the adjective become an inflected word by the end of the middle period. Okay. Then, when final E is omitted, so for the adjectives, the E is not used anymore. The pronouns. Can somebody read and volunteer me?
May I, sir?
Yeah, sure.
The pronouns. The reduction of inflection was apparent in the demonstratives. The and that surviving through the Middle English hand used today. A plural though those survived to Elizabethan times. In the personal pronouns, the losses were not so great.
Okay, once give me 50 seconds. Jannat, are you online? Sadia,
Yes, sir.
Sadia, you did not submit it properly. You have to submit through the submission system and then turn in the assignment. Okay, resubmit. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It's easy, no problem. Okay, let me check how many of you have submitted and how many have not. Yes, I got it from 20 people. Ishtiaq Jamil, have you submitted? Yeah, Jamil
Yes, sir.
Ishtiaq.
Yes, sir.
Have you submitted?
I did, sir.
What's your ID number then?
আর জাকির খানেরটা একটু চেক করেন তো স্যার।
Zakir Khan has submitted.
ও তাহলে হয়ে গেছে।
Yes, Jamil has submitted, no problem. I got from Antur Akhtar, Ali Hassan, Antur Nishida Burua, Maisha Devar, Rima, Saima Hassan Dullah, Jamil Ishtiaq, Hizbullah, Muhammad Hizbullah, Dilrubadullah, Farzana Jamal, Sadia Jannat, Zakir Khan, Sheikh Muhammad Muhyiddin, Panna Sarkar, Siraja Mulira, Sakib, Mohamin, Mumtarin, Saim, Salma Sultana, you submitted twice. Saifat Tasmin, Purbi Anika Nawar. Purbi Anika Nawar, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Have you submitted the assignment? Not yet, right? You submitted?
No, sir.
So, Urbi, when will you submit? I'm going to give you midterm questions tomorrow. So, when will you submit your assignment?
I will submit it before tomorrow.
Okay, by tomorrow evening, okay? Before tomorrow evening. Urbi submit by tomorrow evening because otherwise your midterm issue will come one after another. And this one is part of continuous assessment that consists 10 marks, okay? 10 marks. Okay. Then tell me one more thing. I'm going to give you one more assignment after midterm. Okay, before final and after midterm, one more assignment and one presentation. Are you people interested about presentation or you want all to be assignments? What's your plan?
প্রেজেন্টেশন হলো স্যার খারাপ হয় না।
But majority, let me know the view of the majority. Okay, assignment, will be Anika our assignment. But Anika, you have not submitted first assignment yet. Okay, vote please. How many assignment, how many presentation? Feel free. Till now assignment.
Sir, before after mid.
Okay, Sadia Jannat and
Sir, before or after mid, sir?
after mid, there may be a presentation or there will be an assignment definitely. But if I give an extra presentation, then if I give a presentation, then no extra assignment. Okay. Okay, thank you. Assignment, no presentation.
বার্সেলোনার মতো অবস্থা, শূন্য গোলে পরাজয়।
অবস্থা বার্সেলোনার অবস্থা আরো খারাপ ছিল, এর চেয়ে খারাপ ছিল। Okay, thank you very much. We give a break for prayer. We will start the second session at from 7:20. Okay, from 7:20.
7:20
7:15. Okay.
Okay, 7.
Okay, 7:15. Thank you very much.
ওকে স্যার।
Tata.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you will join the same link.
ওকে স্যার।
Almost, I think 100% of you are present today. Nobody is absent. Okay. Then French words are poured into English with a momentum that continued until toward the end of the Middle English period. French was much more powerful what you can see today in English vocabulary because it continued until the end of Middle English period. It entered into English, and English became the lower class people's language during the French or the Norman conquest in England, and all the power went to the hands of the Normans, and English people become slaves. Okay. Governmental and administrative words. English would owe many words. English would owe many words dealing with government and administration. It would include crown, state, empire, reign, loyal, authority, sovereignty, court, council, parliament, assembly, treaty, alliance, tax. All these words entered into English in the Middle English period, because that was these words are from French words, that these words entered into English not directly this way. These words are changed and then entered into English. Some words entered directly, some entered with little or more changes. Okay, somebody's outside, I guess. I'm getting sounds of big fancy. Where are you going? Who is this? So dedicated that I'm on the way to going somewhere and winning my classes. I'm another student of this type. I appreciate it. At least not willing to miss the class. Okay. The word office and the titles of many offices are likewise French. The word office and many titles of the many offices are likewise French. Like chancellor, now it's a vice chancellor, right? The chancellor is a French word. Then even German chancellor, see, it's a French word. Then treasurer, chamberlain, marshal, governor, councillor, minister, mayor. These words entered the government, and these words entered from French to English. The last paragraph says most designations rank are French, like noble, respects like sir, madam, mistress. All these came from French. So when you call Mahadi sir, when you say Mahadi sir, it means you say Mahadi, and the sir is from
French.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have with us Jamil? Are you online?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I hope. How is your business and everything going on during this pandemic?
Not well, but it would be better if I could have a grocery business. But basically, my business is on gadgets and pet food, but in very not so good.
Okay, Jamil, good luck. Try to plan and brainstorm and try to find out new ideas of business. Okay,
Okay, thank you, sir.
or how you can improve. Do you understand my lecture, Jamil?
Yes, sir.
Okay, feel free to knock me, inbox me anytime if you have any challenges. This is your first semester, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, feel free. And while submitting the assignments, feel free to let me know, sir, this is happening or that is happening. Okay, anytime.
Okay, sir.
You are in my friend list in Facebook.
I'm not sure. I have to check it.
Maybe you were in. You sent me a texting message or you called me. Something like this happened, right?
I called once over phone. I remember.
Okay, that's it. No problem. Thank you. Okay, ecclesiastical words. Ecclesiastical word. You find in English such French words as religion is a French word, right? Theology, meaning say Bengali dharma. Okay, sermon, homily, baptism, baptized. Do we have any Christian here? Do you have anyone from Christianity here? Anyone? Anyone from Christianity? Okay, no. Then communion, then confession, then penance, then prayer, then orison. All these words, religion came from French. So now you can imagine the influence French is having. Excuse me, sorry, it's been recorded.
No problem.
Okay, you people are far away, don't worry about that. Indications of rank or class as clergy, clerk, prelate, cardinal, legates. Then dean, we call dean of the faculty, right? Dean, chaplain, person, pastor. Okay, vicar, sexton, novice, friar, hermit. All these words also came from French. Then you can see the fundamental religious or theological concepts as creator, okay, miracle, okay, devotion, sacrilege, virgin, trinity, okay, schism, reverence, savior, saint, mystery, faith, hearsay, all these came from French. So French is actually having huge or tremendous influence on English language. And in the Middle Age was the fertile time for French to germinate the French words into English. Okay. Then we can see that law, regarding law, what not actually, in every single field French is having influence after the Norman conquest. Can you read Hezbollah with this paragraph? Is it possible to read?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please read.
French was so long the language of the law courts in England. It indicates her suit, defendant, judge, advocate, attorney, bill, petition, complaint, jury, panel, evidence, proof, bail, judgment, verdict, sentence, punishment, prison. The name of many crimes are French. Felony. The next word. Okay. Assault. Arson. Lawrence.
Larceny.
Sir, what's it?
Larceny, fraud, libel, slander, perjury, adultery.
Sir, what
Okay,
are
there are some of the words you can see. Army and Navy. Even in Army and Navy, you can find some words. The control of the Army and Navy was in the hands of those who spoke French. Why these words became very popular and finally were able to survive even the last 1,000 or 800 years? The reason is whatever whatever the head position is in any sector, when after Norman conquest, all these people are French speaking. Be king French speaking, be a judge French speaking, be a leader French speaking, be a navy head French speaking, be an army French speaking. So the soldiers were forced, or it was like they had to learn. They had no other option other than learning French. Okay. They learned French, whether willingly or unwillingly, that's not an issue. French words when we speak of the army and the navy, of peace, enemy, okay. Then arms, battle, combat, skirmish, siege, defense, ambush, stratagem, retreat, soldier, garrison, guard, spy. We have kept the names of officers such as captain, lieutenant, and sergeant. All this came from French. And the entire world is using these words when they communicate the outside world. Maybe they have local names, but these are the main words used. And in our country, captain, lieutenant, sergeants. So, Nishita Burua. Okay, you can see her accent. One accent is found. Then Pandana Sarkar, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Can you read these paragraphs? Fashion, meals, and social life.
The words fashion and dress are themselves French, as are apparel, habit, gown, robe, garments, attire,
Attire.
cloth,
Attire. Okay.
coat, frock, collar, wheel, train, petticoat, legs, embroidery,
See,
plate,
see, Panna. Petticoat lace word is from French. Now you see, it is not English. The origin is French, but now it has become English, right? Embroidery. You like embroidery dresses, right? Yeah.
yeah, plate,
Gusset.
gosset, blanket, button.
Okay,
Males
next.
word are toast, biscuit, cream, sugar, olives, salad, lettuce, raisin, fig, date, grape, orange, lemon, pomegranate,
Pomegranate.
cherry, pomegranate, cherry, peas, spice, herb, mustard, vinegar, marjoram,
Marjoram. Cinnamon. Nutmeg.
cinnamon,
So you see most of the popular terms, okay, many popular terms are taken from the French, are they have the French origin, are taken from the French language after the Norman conquest. Okay. Next one is art, learning, and medicine. Art, learning, and medicine. Do I have Munira? Are you online? Munira. বাচ্চাকে খাওয়াই দিয়েছে। Okay, then Urbiani can award. Urbiani can award. Okay. Then Jamil Ishtiaq, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Jamil, can you read this part?
Okay. Yeah. Such words as art, painting, sculptures, music, beauty, color, fighter image.
Figure.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, next. Then literature is
Literature is presented by the word itself and by poet. Rhyme, prose, romance, lay, story, prose, tragedy,
chronicle, tragedy, prologue, preface, then
reference, title, volume, chapter, quell, ferments, vellum, paper, and pen.
so all these words directly came from French. See, paper and pen. It is not the origin is not English. Origin is not German. These words are not are carried by the Anglo-Saxons and Germans from Germany. This came 500 to 600 years later, after the Norman conquest from the French language by the Normans people and the French speaking people. Okay, next paragraph, Jamil.
The word medicine, surgery, cynicism, surgeon, apothecary, melody, David. Can I take break? Melody,
Okay, plague, anatomy, stomach, pulse, sulfur, alcohol, poison. So in art and literature, in learning, also. So we find that a huge number of words have been taken permanently from French, or it entered into the French was probably because that was the time after Norman conquest, the French people were governing England. Okay, assimilation is a word this word has come from actually. It's a Latin word, assimilation. The origin of the word, let me tell you, I remember this word. It is assimilo. In Latin, it was assimilato. That means being similar to. And in English, it has become assimilation. Okay, no problem. So adapt French words were assimilated rapidly. Assimilated means being similar to. When the new words entered somewhere, and the French word, when the French word entered into English, when the French words entered into English, it tried to be something like English. That is called being similar to, being alike. That is assimilate. It's a process. Okay, and this acculturation. You were born in Onto. Where is your birthplace?
Sir, Tangal.
Okay, so Ontur is born and brought up in Tangal, but Ontur is sent to, let's say, Uganda, for example. Okay, so Ontur will, if Ontur, the earlier Ontur accept that the earlier, oh, Uganda is in good. Okay, earlier it is in different Facebook status, I have seen. Okay, seen. So Ontur. So if you are sent to Uganda, if you are exported to Uganda, for example, we are not really sending you because you are so precious. The earlier you accept the culture of Uganda, the better for you. That is called acculturation process. Means you are adjusting to a new culture. That is acculturation. Assimilation means the word or anything that is trying to be close to the place where it is sent. Let's say French word that took the shape of English word, that it started sounding.
Okay, sir.
সবাই কি আমার কথা মতো বুঝে কষ্ট করে পড়াই কিন্তু আসলে বুঝছেন আজকে কখন আজকের দিনটা এটা শুরু করে রাত 8টা পর্যন্ত 8:30 পর্যন্ত চলে আমার
টানা ক্লাস।
স্যার আপনি তো আমাদের জন্য বুধবার দিন নিতে পারতেন। ওই দিন স্যার আপনার ক্লাস কম থাকে না?
ওই যে উইকের ইনপুটটা আমাকে আজকে রাতের মধ্যে দিতে হয়, তো ওখানে শো করে এক উইক আমি কয়টা ক্লাস দিয়েছি।
ও
এই উইকটা আজকে আমার শেষ আর কি, সেই কারণে দ্যাট ইজ দ্য প্রবলেম। বাট সামটাইমস বুধবারে যে নেব না এমন না, আমি কথা বলবো অফিসে, যদি অপশন থাকে আমি তো বুধবারে নিয়ে যাবো ক্লাসটা, ঠিক আছে? তারপরে আমি জোর করে মূলত ক্লাসে লাঞ্চ করে ক্লাসে ঢুকি। মাঝখানে একটা ক্লাস শেষ হওয়ার পর আসরটা পড়ি, আসরের পরে আমাদের ব্রেক দিয়ে মারপিট করি, ক্লাস শেষ করে আবার এসব পড়ি, এসার আগে যায় তখন এসব পড়ার পরে ডিনার করি, তারপর আবার কাজ থাকে আরো অনেক, ঠিক আছে? দোয়া করবেন যাতে সুস্থ থাকি ইনশাআল্লাহ। হ্যাঁ,
অবশ্যই স্যার।
কারণ আমি নামাজ পড়ে একটা শান্তি পাই, তো এটা বরকতও পাই, এটা আসলে বুঝতে পারবো না। Assimilation, Allah forgive us all. Assimilation, see, adopted French words were assimilated rapidly. খুব দ্রুত, very fast the French words were assimilated to English. They become similar to English words. English endings were added to them. So see, with French words, English ending or suffixes were added to them so that they look like English. For example, gentle becomes gentleman. What was gentle? It becomes gentleman. Gentlewoman, gentleness and gently. Leanness, man, woman. These are English words, you know. So gentle is the French word. So this French word is added, is reshaped, is given a new form, new look. Okay, by adding English suffixes or English endings, so that they look like English words. And this is how assimilation is done while the French word entered into English. Okay. Similarly, faith is a French word, so it becomes faithless, faithful, faithfulness. See, this is how the word sounds like. But when you look in the dictionary, if you look at the origin of the word, you will find the origin is French. Okay. The adverb ending, you can see ly added to adjectives. Like common was a French word, commonly it was made commonly. Courteous was the French word, it was made courteously. Fib was the French word, it was made feebly. Peace was the French word, it was made peacefully. Or it was peaceful, it was made peacefully. Okay, this is how assimilation was done during the Middle English period. When French word entered, whatever we talk today is about Middle English. French Norman conquest ঘটেছে, French word entered হইছে, এরপরে যত কাহিনী ঘটে গেছে, that's what we are talking today. Okay. Also, loss of what? Loss of native words. Loss of native words. French words came into use after Norman conquest. That's what I'm repeatedly saying, so that you people don't forget. Hey, where are you sleeping? Let me leave another question here in the comment box.
Okay, sir.
Cancel this question. Simon, Nishita, I was asking your name. You did not respond. I wanted you to read something. What about others? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, Nishita couldn't listen to me. Okay, so okay, Nishita, thank you. Noted. No worries.
Hezbollah bhai, green tea.
Yeah, green tea. He is much more concerned. Siam coffee. What about our Jamil? Which one do you like? Jamil, can you see the comment box? Jamil, can you reply in the comment box?
Sir, I didn't listen to last few minutes. After I have stopped my reading.
Okay.
So what did you say last time? I didn't.
Biryani can now or coffee. Okay, that means refreshment. This is my strategy. Do you like it?
Only one left, Mohammad Zakir Hussain.
Zakir Hussain, is he doing business? Ankur, you can tell it better.
Yes, sir, he is in the business. He is in his bank and doing class from there.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate. Sirajam Munira, thank you. Coffee. Yeah, I'm a tea and coffee both, but I prefer coffee. Okay, we'll have coffee one day. We'll take enjoy coffee one day in barcode banani. Old English EAM replaced by French UNCLE. Dema became judge. Firen was replaced by crime. Many verbs died out. And the tongue became confess. Bjorgan became defense. So loss of native words, different native words were lost actually because of. The Old English word died because of French. Okay. Here are some of the examples. Prefixes. Old English prefixes gradually lost their vitality. The Old English prefix for was used like for hang, for clay, for shake. Okay. So Old English prefixes was used. Gradually lost their vitality. They lost their value. Okay. The only verbs in which it occurs in modern English are for wear, forbid, for do, forget, forgive, forgo, forsake, forswear. But during Old English periods, the for was even used with more number of words. Okay, large number of words. And because of the modern English influence and the French conquer and the modern English influence, French influence, these Old English words were threatened to flee. Threatened to flee মানে ধমক দিয়ে পালাতে বলা হয়েছে আর কি মজা করে বললাম
মডার্ন ইংলিশের জন্য না ফ্রেঞ্চের জন্য
French during Middle English period because of the
during
influence of
middle
French.
English that is
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for clarification. Okay. Let's try something else. That is prefixes used today counter, these, re, trans, over, under. Okay. Suffixes. See, decline in suffixes was less noticeable. Most of the prefixes were affected because of the influence of the French or the Norman conquest. But the decline, the suffixes were not that much affected or infected. Okay. Because some important ending have remained active. Suffixes which are still in use. মানে কেন সাফিক্স আক্রমণে পড়ে না সাফিক্স তো পেছনে থাকে শব্দের মার তো যে শুরুতে থাকে সে খায় প্রেফিক্স তো আগে থাকে
প্রথম থেকে পড়ে
ও মারটা প্রেফিক্স খেয়ে ফেলে সেই কারণে Okay. Suffixes which are still in use. Did you watch the movie Bahubali?
Yes, sir.
যারা
Yes, sir.
সামনে একটা বড় ফাইট হয় ওই যে কালো 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 দুটোর সাথে মারামারি হয়, যারা প্রথমে থাকে
Yes,
ওরা মারা
sir.
যায় বেশি।
Yes, sir.
Suffix,
Frontier.
yeah, exactly. Suffixes which are still in use, noun suffix, nes, adjective ending full, less, some, ish. These suffixes are still in use. These suffixes survived well. Okay. Next is the endings. Hood and sheep have had a similar history. The endings hood and sheep have had similar history. Manhood, womanhood, likelihood are new formations in Middle English. Okay, these are the new formations in Middle English. Um, Latin borrowings in Middle English. Now you see, it's a large chapter. Okay, Latin borrowings in Middle English. Let's see. We'll try to cover as much as possible. Okay.
Yes.
The influence of the Norman conquest is generally known as the Latin influence. The large number of words borrowed directly from Latin in Middle English. Latin was a spoken language among religious men and men of learning. 14th and 15th century were especially prolific in Latin borrowings. Okay, so you know what happened. 14th, 15th century. During that time, Latin was borrowed by people. List of examples. Can somebody read the list of examples? Raja Munira, can you read the list of examples? The slide. Okay, no. Nishita, can you read this PowerPoint slide if you listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Nishita, good girl.
List of examples: abject, allegory, conspiracy, custody, distract, frustrate, genius, jester, history, even, incarnate, include, inferior, magnetic, magnify, mechanical, minor, nervous, picture, polite, popular, quiet, rational, reject, subscribe, summary, temporal, testify, tract.
Okay, endings like able, ent, osh, ive. These are actually borrowed from Latin during the Middle English period. Okay, this is how our English language was enriched and changes happened or reformation took place during this period. Okay, then come in addition, unusual words from Latin by writers of prose, stylistic were borrowed. Such words as ablution, dispone, diurne, equivalent, palestral, and tenebros. These words are also borrowed during the Middle English period from Latin. Then synonyms. English in synonyms is largely due to the happy mingling of Latin. Synonyms came before. Same word has more than one meaning. Same word has more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 synonyms. Why? Because of Latin and the native elements. Latin, French, and native elements. Because all the equivalent. Let's say you call it tea, or you call it a cup, or you call it a hand. What the Latin people called, what the French-speaking people called, what the native people of the England called. This is the same thing. So this is all the 4 or 5 words are taken and they indicate the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Next, 4 dialects in Middle English. You can see not done. During the Middle English there are 4 dialects. See, it is not even today. Even at that time, meaning to say, 500 years back. Northern dialect, East Midland, West Midland, Southern. See. Okay, you can see. Okay. The Middle English dialects, we can see that we can distinguish 4 principal dialects of Middle English: Northern, East Midland, West Midland, and Southern. Generally speaking, the Northern dialect extends as far south as the Humber. East Midland and the West Midland together covered the area between the Humber and the Thames. I told you the people living beside the Thames River, and I've told you the history of these people, right? Whether because
Australians were
exactly the criminals of Thames, living in the both sides of Thames River, are sent to Australia. These people living in Australia were once the criminal in England. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Then you may find that the next part, these dialects differ in respect of pronunciation, vocabulary, and inflection. Okay, ended in th with some variation of the preceding vowel. You see, even spelling problem, even the differences in the spelling found in the Middle English dialects, in the Middle English among the dialects. Okay, in Midland district it was replaced by n. Okay, thus we have loves in the north, loven in the Midlands, and loveth in the south. See, loveth is used by whom? William Shakespeare. Does it?
Yes.
Love it.
Lovin,
Remember?
Lovin. Yes,
Exactly.
th was there in the
Yeah, in his plays and in his sonnets. The rise of standard English. Here comes the খেলা main খেলাটা এখানে আর কি ফাইনাল খেলাটা শুরু হয়ে গেছে মনে করেন the rise of standard English out of this variety of local dialects emerged toward the end of 14th century এই যে একটু আগে বললাম Middle English, a written language which became recognized as the standard in speech and writing. This dialect was very close to the East Midland dialect. The cause of the standardization of East Midland dialect, the English of this region occupied a middle position, less conservative than the southern dialects and less radical than the northern. The East Midland dialect district was the largest and most populous. The presence of the universities Oxford and Cambridge in this region. These are the main reasons. More population over there. Oxford and Cambridge universities are located there, and that Midland dialect became the standard English later on. Got the point?
Yes, sir. Because in that time, because of this institution.
List in writing in most parts of the country in the later part of 15th century. London English. Okay, that is in the Midland area. The standardization of London dialect promoted by the introduction of printing in 1476. This part is covered in this William Caxton's invention of the printing machine is discussed in another class. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no more extension. I told you about Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. A page from the Canterbury Tales. Okay, Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay, thank you.
That's the end.
Welcome, sir.
That's the ending for today. I will stop sharing.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Zakir Hassan Khan, you are showing. What do you think? Are you also a cameraman?
Oh, Zakir bhai. And sir,
Yeah, Zakir Hussain Khan. How are you, Zakir Hussain Khan? Busy with business and class together, right? Multitasker.
মাইকটা করেন জাকির ভাই, অন করেন, কথা শোনা যায় না, মাইক অফ আপনার। স্যার ওনার এই প্রবলেম অনেকদিন ধরেই, মাইকটা কোনোভাবেই ওনার কাজ করতেছে না, সম্ভবত ল্যাপটপে কোনো প্রবলেম।
You should change or you should get it repaired. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Zakir Hussain Khan and everyone. Thank you, my dear people. Thank you very much for joining the class. Remember,
Thank
in
you,
your
sir.
midterm, I'm going to give you two broad question, and two short question, and total 30 marks. Okay.
Yes,
ওকে স্যার। স্যার সাবমিশন ডেটটা স্যার কয়দিন স্যার?
I'll give you 3 days to submit 3 questions. 3 days. Okay.
স্যার একটু বাড়ায় দেওয়া যায় না স্যার?
Okay. 4 days highest. Okay. Done.
ওকে স্যার।
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
remember,
Thank you,
this time some of you have submitted the assignment very lately. You delayed much. But if you do it in the midterm one, you'll be considered absent in the midterm. Remember, I have to submit the result of the midterm soon to the office within 4 or 5 days. It is mandatory.
Okay, sir.
Maisha,
Okay,
you want
sir.
to ask anything, Maisha? You have unmute your speaker. Okay. No. Whatever question I give,
you can Google and you can try to find out different answers. Okay?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much.